Greetings and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Sliders Review. Alright, let's address the elephant in the room. I know it's not Halloween. Alright, that's long past. But when it came to my Halloween videos, I ran out of time and I couldn't upload everything I wanted to. So that's why I'm uploading them past Halloween. But if you stop and look at it like this, at some point in time, it's gonna be Halloween time again, October. So somebody eventually will stumble upon my videos and watch it around Halloween time. So yeah, and I'm here today to talk to you about Goosebumps. I think it's called Attack of the Mutant. I think that's the name of it. This is a really interesting episode. It's not scary. However, it is pretty cool. Basically, if you love comic books, you'll probably like this because it's your fantasy coming like alive and everything. It's a two-parter, but not an hour special. It aired during the day, and I think it might be part of season 3, episode 2 and 3. And so one interesting thing about this episode is, like I said before, it's not really scary, but when you get towards the end, yeah, if you put yourself in the actual episode, then yeah, it is kind of scary. But, you know, for the most part, it's just cool and slightly cheesy and funny. It has a cool cameo from that of Adam West. May he rest in peace, the very first Batman I ever saw. And I don't know, in the early beginning, it sounded like I heard Mark Hamill's voice in the narration, but I don't think so. But I have to look again. And so basically, what this episode deals with is there's a young boy named Skipper. Skipper. What a name. And he's obsessed with comic books. He just loves them to death. He's doing bad in school because all he does is read comics. His dad hates that he reads comics and wants him to stop. I think the dad has been in Goosebumps before. The dad was either in Say Cheese and Die, or he was in Click. If he was in Click, then that's funny because the same actor who plays Skipper was in Click. And so, like, basically the entire episode, he just reads comics and his dad gets irritated about him doing that. One day he catches the bus and he gets off at the wrong stop because he's too busy talking to a girl. Woo! And so she likes comics, but she likes the girly comics. She hates the superhero stuff, which irritates him. I like the chemistry between these two. They really act like a boy and girl. And so when he gets off the bus, he notices something. There is like a building that looks just like the villain's building in his comic, and he is shocked and amazed, and it ends in the first episode. So in the first episode, there is no build up to nothing scary. There's not even nothing build up to be anything interesting. It's just filler for some bizarre reason. I don't understand that purpose. This has never happened in Goosebumps. They've never really spent an entire, well, actually they kind of have in Werewolf Skin. They built up filler for like an entire first episode and then got to something interesting towards the very end. And then all the weird shenanigans happen in the next episode. So it's kind of strange that Goosebumps episodes would do that because normally they don't. And so the next day, you know, he's telling people, nobody believes him and all this other stuff. His friend who only like collects rocks doesn't believe him. I used to have a rock collection back in the day, and a marble collection, and a shell collection, and probably another kind of collection if I can't think of it right now. And so like, he heads back to that same place, but with that girl. And then I think the girl saw him walking around. And so he telling her, oh, this like probably like an invisible wall or something like that, because he can't see it no more. The building is gone. They pass through the invisible barrier. Then they go inside. And when they go inside, he flickers and he's lit up. But she is not. And so you know something strange is going to happen. They're in this very colorful building, which some of it, the up close parts is like real, but the far away parts is a CGI green screen, and it looks very noticeable. they're like in awe and amazed, for whatever reason, they leave. Well, throughout the rest of the episode, he's not feeling too good. He's sweating and he's still reading comic books like crazy. And then at some point, he goes back to that building. Still, for the most part, not much is really going on other than him phasing in and out of like consciousness and stuff. And so when he's back in the building, there he sees somebody. He sees some type of superhero that's like an antelope. It's Adam West playing that character. Adam West is hamming it up. And it's funny. So he has super speed and all this other stuff. So they're trying to escape, and then all of a sudden, the mass mutant shows up. It's a lot of corniness and a lot of cheesy 90ness going on, but whatever reason, Adam West characters are like, I'm out of here. He's all like, you saved the day. He thinks the boy Skipper is a hero, but he's not. He's not even has a costume on. So, the mass mutant's doing all his cackling and everything like that. Now, the mass mutant is a favorite of Skipper. It's his favorite villain. Boy, never like your villains. Always like the heroes. And then all of a sudden, the girl comes in. She's like, I saw you come in from like across the street. And so she's wandering around. And he can't find the mass mutant. Now, the mass mutant has the ability to shapeshift. And so she's all like, he's like, he can be anything. She's like, yeah, he can even be me. And then of course, boom, he transformed. And he lets Skipper know that there is no little girl. He's been the little girl the entire time, and that he's been intrigued by Skipper because he knew he was the one who is so obsessed with that of his comic. How exactly did the mass mutant come alive is never explained. So it just leaves you to wonder. Then, he's getting ready to like kill Skipper. But Skipper's like, oh, you can't kill me. I'm the elastic boy. He's trying to trick him, right? And so he's like, if whatever you do to me will just bounce off me. And he's all like, one thing won't bounce off me, some type of acid. So then the mass mutant turns into acid. And then Skipper's like, ha, I tricked you. Because you can turn into a solid, but you can't turn into a liquid because you die. And so the mass mutant just dies and everything. And so he heads back home. And his mom wants to do something with him. And she grabs him by the hand. Oh, he has ink on his hand. But here's the thing. The mass mutant tells Skipper that, you're not a real boy. You're part of the comic book. When you came into the building, that flicker of light, it scanned you. You're now little dots and ink and all this other crap. Anyway, he has ink and paint on his fingers. His mom tries to wash it off and he pulls away. And then she realizes his arm is stretching. She releases it, and it's a really good stretchy effect. Better than the Fantastic Four movies. Now, that's scary right there. And it whips back into him, and he's wearing a costume. And now all of a sudden, he is Elastic Boy. This episode never really made no sense to me. Like, it's an okay episode. I mean, yeah, if you like comics and everything. But it was never handled properly. There was no explanation as how the mutant dude came alive. There's no explanation to really how how Skipper transformed into Elastic Boy, other than being scanned. There's no telling what happened to Adam West's character. And I don't know, it was just a lot of filler and everything. And I just never understood this episode. Like, I really just never understood this episode. Now, in the Haunting Hour, there's a much better comic book episode that is dark and scary. I've already talked about that. Go find that. That wasn't that spooky. Alright, well, I shall talk to y'all later. Bye.